Understanding Arrogance, Ignorance, and Bodhicitta. Welcome to this in-depth exploration. Today, we'll delve into a dialogue between a master and disciple regarding the cultivation of Bodhicitta and the practice of Buddhism. The dialogue uses a metaphor. Bodhicitta is like a sharp sword that can cut through the armor of arrogance. This is one of the core concepts we'll explore today. The source material covers several key points: the pitfalls of arrogance, pride, self-satisfaction, the power of Bodhicitta, and how to accumulate merit on the path of cultivation without inadvertently accumulating debt. Our goal today is to clarify these concepts and see what insights they offer for our own practice. Let's carefully examine the content and find the most valuable takeaways. The peculiar armor of arrogance. The dialogue mentions an interesting metaphor. Arrogance is like a strange armor that only blocks good things while letting bad things in. How can we understand this? This metaphor highlights a blind spot we often overlook. Arrogance prevents us from accumulating merit and blessings. It's like high ground that cannot retain water. Good things just flow away. Because we feel we're too good, we tend to reject those who are better than us and associate with those who are inferior or even bring negative influences. As a result, we're the ones who get hurt in the end. This perspective is very direct and makes one pause for thought. So, this armor doesn't just block nourishment, it actively invites toxins. The source is reminding us that we might be unknowingly missing many opportunities to improve ourselves due to this arrogance. Arrogance acts like a strange sieve, filtering out the good and retaining the bad. Bodhicitta, the sword against arrogance. This naturally leads to the next point: how to overcome arrogance. The source of that power is Bodhicitta. The source uses many metaphors to describe Bodhicitta. It's like a sharp sword that can cut through arrogance, like a brave general's banner that can subdue inner demons, like a saw cutting down the tree of ignorance, and like an axe chopping off the roots of suffering. These metaphors depict the multifaceted effects of Bodhicitta. It's not just used to break through inner obstacles like ignorance and arrogance. More importantly, it's the key to transforming negative outcomes. The dialogue mentions that Bodhicitta itself has the power to eliminate negative karma, but this requires deep spiritual practice, such as achieving certain profound levels of meditation and mental transformation. The source refers to this as Shenzutong, divine feet, or Shenjingtong, divine eye, which allows one to truly transform perceived states, turning bad into good. Transforming suffering, the path of cultivation. Regarding the transformation of states, the dialogue provides an example. Ordinary people easily mistake not being sick for being sick, but practitioners can reverse this, even taking on the suffering of others. This is a crucial difference between ordinary beings and enlightened ones. Practitioners strive to transform afflictions into bodhi enlightenment and adversities into conditions that promote their growth. However, if we lack awareness, we can easily deplete our blessings unknowingly, turning favorable circumstances into sources of affliction. The power of Bodhicitta lies in cultivating this proactive transformative ability, turning bad into good, rather than turning gold into dirt. Wise management of resources, offerings, and merit. This transformative ability also applies to how we handle external resources. The dialogue devotes considerable space to the topic of offerings, particularly reminding monastics that a grain of rice from sentient beings is greater than Mount Sumeru. When you accept offerings from others, a karmic connection is established. This is a reminder that if one accepts offerings without cultivating diligently and even violates precepts, a significant amount of debt accumulates. For monastics, upholding precepts is crucial. It can generate great blessings, which can offset the sustenance received from sentient beings' offerings. Moreover, if one cultivates the 5 contemplations while eating, one can digest the food properly. As the saying goes, if the 5 contemplations are present, consuming gold is easy. If the 3 minds are not understood, even a drop of water is hard to digest. These are fundamental practices so that monastics do not merely incur debt to sentient beings. The master in the dialogue handles offerings wisely. He uses the money offered by sentient beings to print scriptures and make offerings of Dharma treasures, treating himself as a servant, not an owner. He transforms resources into the benefit of the Dharma, resulting in benefits for both himself and others. This is a manifestation of wisdom. The key is not to view resources as personal possessions but to believe that Dharma is the best investment, using it to create greater merit. The source material also repeatedly emphasizes the importance of gratitude and repaying kindness. This is the foundation for the continuous growth of good roots. Understanding gratitude preserves good roots. Repaying kindness allows good roots to grow. The true meaning of renunciation and practice. Finally, the dialogue clarifies what true renunciation and practice entail. It emphasizes that merely shaving one's head or wearing monastic robes does not make one a monastic. The true standard lies in upholding the precepts, from the basic Srama-era novice precepts to the more advanced Bhikkhu fully ordained monk precepts. Purpose of the summer retreat Vasana is also mentioned, to concentrate wholeheartedly on achieving something, not just going through the motions. This reminds us that regardless of your chosen lifestyle, the core of practice lies in inner diligence, not outward appearance. Furthermore, maintaining a sense of shame and remorse, as ancient eminent monks often did, referring to themselves as shameful monastics, can help atone for one's transgressions and avoid falling into the trap of claiming enlightenment when one has not attained it. Reflection for your own journey. This material, from breaking down the obstacles of arrogance to understanding the power of Bodhicitta, the wise handling of karma and offerings, and the true essence of practice, is truly substantial. What insights does all of this offer us? Perhaps you can take a moment to reflect, is arrogance secretly at work in your daily life? How can you learn from the Master's wisdom and skillfully use your resources and relationships to create a virtuous cycle instead of accumulating debt? Finally, here's a question for you to ponder. The dialogue states that all good roots, merits, and wisdom arise from conditions. The Dharma does not arise in isolation, it depends on conditions. How can we consciously create more positive conditions for ourselves? This question is worth contemplating deeply. Thank you for listening.